Okay, Potomac Woman Sweep. Let's break down this morning's row. First in the O'Donnell. I had a couple of comments from a few separate rowers about how, the boat just wasn't moving quite how we wanted it to, and there are a few things going on here. So let's go seat by seat. Let's start with our bow seat. I'm sorry this isn't quite centered on you, Fizzy, but bow seat, Fizzy. First off, Fizzy, something that you're doing well here is you're starting to set the body a little earlier, but you'll notice right here, your arm, this outside arm here, isn't yet straight, and yet your knees are already starting to come up, right? So the outside arm isn't quite straight, and yet the knees are already starting to come up. It's not until you get here, there, that your body is actually set, and you're already kind of at the half slide position. So let's try to set that body just a little bit earlier. Once you come into the catch, things are staying pretty quiet in the shoulder and head area. There's a bit of a dive here, but it's not too bad. You can see that as you come into the catch, that shoulder, rather than staying in this level plane here, see the shoulder kind of dips down below it just a little bit. So let's try to just hold that shoulder up a little higher. Once you get the oar in, see it's reasonably connected all the way to the finish here. Like from here, well, you can see that you're using your shoulders a little bit to place the blade, but from here to here, it's pretty much fine. Okay. So let's go to Sam, even though this is your last day for like 10 months, Sam. The kind of the same thing as Fizzy, you'll see that, your outside elbow is still quite bent, and yet your knees are already coming up. So what we want to do is we want to get the body set nice and early before we come up the slide. And then, you're getting the blade down to the water. You can see over here, oops, you can see over here that the blade is getting down to the water, okay. But look at how you're kind of pressing the legs already as the blade is entering the water. So what we're looking for is a little bit more of a backsplash as the blade goes in. Oops. Now, Amanda, you've got the body set nice and early before you start lifting the knees up, and everything's looking pretty good till right there. Like the blade is squaring up, but look where, let's see, this is kind of our level plane. Look where your hands go. They dip below that, and then you get the blade squared up, and they come up above it a lot as you start to drive the legs down. So what we're looking for is to, instead of dropping the hands down that way, we're looking for the hands to stay from about this point, the hands to stay even and then go up like that instead of dropping down. And it's a really subtle motion. You can see here that like you've got a bit of shoulder action, just a bit of shoulder action, not much. So if you can just keep your shoulders into the stern a little bit, and instead of having your hands go down like that, have them kind of, let's see, from here, go like that a little bit, and I think this will improve dramatically. Erica, this is, I think, your 5th row with us, something like that. Things are going reasonably well. The body's set before the knees come up. That's great. unfortunately we can't see a whole heck of a lot of what your blade's doing here. Oh yeah, we can. So you see that back over here, the blade starts moving, or the blade starts moving before it's really in the water. So what we want to do is we want to try to lift those hands up a little bit before you start driving the knees. You can see that the knees start driving before the blade's in the water. Another thing, Erica, here is if you take a look at that elbow right there, it's kind of broken, meaning bent a little bit before you really start driving the legs down. So let's try to keep that elbow straight as you drive the legs down, so you can kind of hang a little more from the lats right here rather than engaging with the shoulders up here. The other thing, Erica, is as I know that we've mentioned before, it's all about, kind of keeping these shoulders level rather than lifting them up. You can see that your hands kind of drop towards the bottom of the boat as you come into the catch. So from here to here, the hands kind of drop down, right? Instead of doing that, let's try to keep the hands on a little bit more level of a plane, so that you can then, once you place the blade, push straight back this way towards the bow without without having to get your shoulders involved in it. Okay. Let's see. Ellie Langford. So as we discussed, a lot of this is actually looking pretty good, Ellie. I know that like starboard is your more natural side. We're trying to get you switched over to port for a few reasons, not least of which we're short on ports. We could use more ports. So this is pretty good here. You can see, particularly like mid-drive, this nice big bend in the oar, indicating you're really connected and hanging on it pretty well through the finish. The finish isn't quite as clean as we want it to be, but we haven't really worked on that yet. The one thing here, Ellie, is you can see there from here to here, it's a little bit more of a shoulder lift than is really ideal. We're going to kind of hold those shoulders down a little bit, try to drive them straight back in that nice level plane again. Okay, and Ali Romano. Oops, we might not have as full of a stroke as I would like. No, we got one. Here we go, Ali Romano. I think your outside hand right here, Ellie, is a little heavy, which causes you to carry your hand a little close to the gunnel, which causes the boat to get down to your side a little bit, and makes you a little uncomfortable. And because of the angle, I really don't have a great view of what's going on from the catch. But once you get the blade in, it's a pretty nice motion here. This is a pretty nice level shoulder motion through the drive. You can stand to get just a little further back into the bow. You'll see that you've got, that's not quite the angle. You've got about this kind of body angle here, whereas what we're really looking for is a little closer to that body angle into the bow. Okay, Leah. So Leah, I think initially the first thing I'm seeing here is, you're getting your blades squared up well before you get to the catch, but it's real late. Like, you're already kind of at your catch position here, and the blade isn't squared yet. You might be over-compressing just a little bit into the stern, but it's nice to see the blade is in, well, is almost entirely in before you go. Like, that's where you start, you've started pressing the legs here, and the blade is still kind of getting connected. So let's wait just a beat longer, get the blade connected, and then press the legs into the bow here. Carly, I'm going to back up a little bit because I think there's a bit better of a shot of the stroke you took here. Yeah, this is a little bit better. All right, Carly, so you can see blades going in pretty nicely here, Carly. You're getting nice and long through the pin, getting on it, getting right on it, getting hung. Now, you can also see that you're sacrificing a little bit of connection through to the finish right here, because you're kind of dropping your hands down this way into your lap as you come into the bow. Let's try to finish even a little higher than you already do into the bow. And right here, Carly, you can see just how nicely you're getting the blade in. One thing I would say though is that oar is really high off the water as you're coming into the catch. So you've got a lot of motion here with your arms. Like your arms have to go a long way. You keep the shoulders pretty flat, but your arms have to go a long way to get that blade in. So let's try to level that out a little bit before we as we move along here. And I'm just kind of going back through the boat here. You can see just how much distance your hands have to travel to get the blade in the water. So I would think about carrying your hands just a little bit higher as you come into the water. And I know the water conditions were kind of affecting things a little bit. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.